Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your December 2019 horoscope for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising. So first we're going to use some cards and see what we get with that. And then we're going to take a look at these transits. So as always, we're using the Barbie Aries Zodiac Oracle deck, the Rider Tarot deck, the Connolly Tarot deck, and playing cards. And of course, if you are interested, there is a Black Friday special going on. You can have a 15-minute reading with any of the cards that I'm using today for $5. So don't miss out on that. Also, I wanted to remind you all that there is a 1,000 subscriber special. So if you were interested in that, go ahead and comment loyal fan down below. And of course, share this out to a friend. Don't forget to like if you are enjoying this video. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. And today is the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. So we're seeing the two benefics join together, opening up this very positive energy. And tomorrow we see Venus come into Capricorn, into more of a serious, committed space of what values are you going to commit to in your life, what relationships, what desires, what are you attaching to that serves you in your life. And on Tuesday there is a new moon in Sagittarius, opening up this new lunar cycle of what journey, what quest are you going on, what are you seeking out at this time that is going to lead you up to this beautiful destined space with the solar eclipse that will take place in December. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And on Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving, we see Neptune stationed direct. So Neptune has been retrograde since early 2019. And this retrograde has brought a lot of confusion, a lot of questions, a lot of doubt, a lot of illusions. And so we see this clarity come back, especially as it comes into a trine with Mercury in Scorpio. And of course, we have Uranus in opposition to Mars, with this energy activating us to take action in our lives on the things that serve us and take us to a higher level on our path. We're also going to see Venus come into aspect with Uranus as well in a trine. And that is going to highlight what is really of the utmost value to us and what needs to be removed from our lives. And that should close out November. And we'll be making our way into December, where we will see Jupiter move into its fall position, its weakest position in Capricorn. And so a lot of these magical doorways are closing. A lot of things in life becoming more challenging, more difficult, as we need to apply more work and more consistency to get us to these outcomes, to these goals in our life. And on December 9th, we see Mercury move into Sagittarius, which is its detriment. Mercury doesn't work quite well in Sagittarius, as Mercury is focused on the little details, analyzing, sending us messages, getting clear on what is going on. Sagittarius, more so about seeking out the truth and the higher meanings in life. And so we get this tiny planet that is focused on little details in this much larger space of seeing the full picture. And so you might feel a little lost in everything that is happening with Mercury and Sagittarius. Mercury and Sagittarius is really a good time to not focus so much on the little details and to really try to believe in and trust in the plan that Spirit has for you, and to try to see things from the bigger picture. On December 12th, we close this lunar cycle that we are entering with a full moon in Gemini. And this energy closes out a lot of opportunities, as we are shortly going to be moving into this solar eclipse in Capricorn. And so this Gemini full moon closing out a lot of opportunities, a lot of new experiences, as this number 3 year is dying down, of 3 in numerology being about the opportunity, about the good luck, the experience of seeing what is possible, of experiencing new things, and moving more into this master number 22 year, which 22 comes down to 4, dealing with security, dealing with home, of the destiny of your surroundings. And of course, number 22 is the master builder number. So it will be a time to really work hard to build up your success and your destiny in your life. So this number 3 you're kind of showing you what is possible, and then you kind of have to make the decision from there of, are you going to do the work to get to that possible outcome, or are we going to move back into old behavioral patterns and systems? And also on the 12th, we do see Chiron station direct. So Chiron has been retrograde for a while now, sort of in this space. And remember that Chiron is in Aries. So we're dealing with wounds that have to do with self, with the identity. And so with Chiron retrograde in Aries, it's really been throwing us things to really tear down our ego, tear down that identity that we have attached ourselves to. So a lot of facing those wounds and those old things that we've attached to that we call identity. And as Chiron comes direct, we get the clarity back about who we really are, and that ego starts to fall away. Now on December 20th, Venus moves into Aquarius. And so we see Venus moving into this new space where it's less constricted, less serious. We're kind of seeing these unique and interesting ways of relationships playing out, as well as the things that we value. You may find that you value new things that are unexpected, things that you wouldn't necessarily think would be of value, but they are. Aquarius bringing this very unique and unconventional way of relating and relationships and the values that we're attached to. And so it's a good time for experimenting, exploring, trying out new things, getting into new relationships if you are single. And of course, we see on the 22nd, we move into Capricorn season. And so as we move into Capricorn season, a lot of this more fun, exciting energy, opening up doorways, starting to come to a close now as things become more serious. Of course, Capricorn season will take us into 2020 in this more serious, more concentrated space of what is our destiny going to look like? What is our reputation going to look like? What is of the highest value? What are we going to work to accomplish? And on the 26th, day after Christmas, of course, if you are on the West Coast, this will be on the day of Christmas. So kind of depending on where you are location-wise. But if you are on the East Coast, this new moon solar eclipse is happening on the 26th. It is in Capricorn, and of course with a solar eclipse, we always see this energy that is sort of unexpected, weird things happening, things not going as you had them planned. Sort of this weird time, you can't really push anything to work for you. You kind of have to just go with the flow of things. And it is a new moon, so it is starting a new lunar cycle in Capricorn, in this sign of work and discipline. And so what are you serious? What are you focused about? What are you willing to work on and accomplish in your life? And of course, this takes us into the theme of 2020, which is about this hard work to make your destiny, to make your accomplishment happen. This is a choice. You have the choice of either going forward or staying where you are. And so, are you willing to do what is necessary to move forward and reach that higher space, that more divine space that serves you better in your life? On the 28th of December, before we move in to 2020. This will be the last major aspect. We'll talk about some minor aspects happening as well, but this will be the last major planetary shift of Mercury moving into Capricorn. And this is kind of a weird space. Mercury doesn't hate Capricorn, but Mercury isn't quite in its power and dignity in Capricorn. But we see communication styles changing, becoming more serious, more systematic. And there is something about planning out the way that you communicate in a way so that it can get you to a successful place. How can you get the point across? How can you communicate in a way to achieve and accomplish your goals? So very systematic, very articulate and detailed in the way that we communicate and interact with this Mercury and Capricorn. So, let's take a look at the cards. So for you, Sagittarius, and this is for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising. And for all the Sagittarius Suns out there, if I haven't said it already, happy birthday to all of you. It is your season, and this may resonate with you also if you are a Sagittarius Moon or Sagittarius Rising. And so we start off with the Nine of Cups in reverse. And so there is something here about not being in this calm space of relaxing and reflecting. Reflecting is the big word that I get for this. And so in sort of this meditative space of reflection, of acceptance, of planning, of deciding, this comes through strongly for a lot of you. Are you willing to go into this space, or are we trying to push and push and push and push without really thinking things through? And this is a space of reflection, of relaxation. It is not for you to not do anything at all, but it is for you to take your time to really think things through and really reflect where you are and how you got to where you are, so that this can illuminate your path of where you are headed forward in 2020. And even with the Page of Pentacles here, you are being asked to add some sort of discipline and structure to your life, change things up so that they better serve you. And so this space of meditation, of contemplation, of reflection will be very important for a lot of you as you are coming up with this plan, this strategy of how you are moving into the next year. And then we get the Knight of Wands in reverse. And so again, I'm getting this feeling of needing to really think things through, really needing to reflect and contemplate before just leaping into action. Right? We see with the Knight of Wands sort of this leap into action, into what you are manifesting. But with it in reverse, we're seeing this call for you to really think things through, really reflect on things, really look within first before making that final decision, that final leap into the action. So it's not a time for you to push. It's not a time for you to try to force anything. Remember, Mars is in Scorpio, so we're dealing with Mars on the offense, where it would be on the defense in Aries. And so it's a time to go with the flow and really think. Remember that Scorpio has this internal knowing. And so there's something about going internally and reflecting and contemplating and looking at where you are, how you got there. Really take a look at your life and really plan and strategize before leaping in. Then we get the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And so it may feel like a time where destiny is not on your side, coin's not really in your favor. Again, it's really not a time to try to push anything into motion. It's a time to go into reflection. And so there is something about this space about going within and really looking at where you are and what you have done and what you want to accomplish that really opens up this fate, this destiny, this opportunity to you as you're moving into 2020. And it does lead us to the Sun card of this profound joy and happiness and this sense of self, not of identity, but of your true self. And so, this true expression of joy and happiness and of who you truly are comes about through this meditation, through this contemplation, through this inner work, going in and looking at where you are and planning about where you are headed, where you are going. That brings in this abundance, this joy at the end of this. So that was looking at the Rider Tarot. Let's take a look at the Connolly Tarot. And we start off with the Magician. So again, you are the master of your own fate, but you are being divinely helped in this moment. Notice that in the Magician card, he has the divine rod, the divine connection to spirit. So you are being assisted by spirit or God, or however you refer to this higher power. You are being guided and assisted. And so it is time for you to go within and to really have that conversation with spirit. To go into this meditative, reflective mode before once again leaping into action, because this has you as the master of your own fate, and you're being given the tools and the guidance to help you get to that space. And that leads us to the Four of Wands, which is a doorway, a gateway to happiness, to joy. Oftentimes with this card, we see celebration. There's something about celebrating your life, but also I'm getting really accepting where you are and what you've done throughout the year of 2019. There's something here about acceptance and not regret, not getting stuck in the past, but celebrating your accomplishments, celebrating where you are, accepting all that you've done and all that you are, and making the decision about what doorways are you open to, where are you headed, moving forward into the next year. Because it does take us to this moon of this beautiful abundance and this beautiful connection that is coming into your life. And so the moon does bring in this magic, this manifestation, this abundance that, again, with the Four of Wands, you have to be open to accepting this in your life. And so again, there's something about needing to go within and to really look at, okay, what am I willing to do, to accomplish, to accept moving into 2020? And again, with the Four of Pentacles, we kind of started out talking about this, about the Page of Pentacles, of needing to find that balance, that grounding, that discipline in your life. And so this shows you coming into a space of balance, a space of grounding, of security, which is very much in line with this next year of this master number 22 year of building your fate, building your destiny, of this beautiful security and connection in your life. But of course, with this Four of Wands, this is something that you have to be willing to accept. Remember that with this new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn, this is a choice of whether you are moving backwards or forwards in your life. So let's take a look at the playing cards, and we will end off with the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle deck. So we get the 10 of clubs, and with this we see this completion of this old energy. Again, with clubs, this is fire energy we're talking about, and 10 being about this completion, about this ending to bring us to a new doorway, a new space in our life. 10 is the end, but of course, when you break it down in numerology, it comes down to 1, which is the beginning. And so we're talking about this end and beginning in your life, which is about closing these old chapters, these old doorways. Again, it really is a time of reflection, of going in and finding that peace, that closure, before trying to act or initiate. The action comes after the closure. And of course, 9 is also the end. We have the 9 of spades dealing with your thoughts, dealing with communication. What are you connected to? And there's something about ending these old belief systems, these old thoughts, these old ways of being, these old truths in your life, and making space for the new to come in. And so once again, you're being called to go into this inner space of looking within and doing the work within to open up doorways to you in your life. Now with 2, we're talking about separation, and with the hearts, we are talking about relationships, connections, emotions. And so there is something here about removing yourself from old attachments in your life, whether this be old relationships that no longer serve you, old connections to objects in your life, to situations, to places, to people. There is a separation that needs to take place for a lot of you. This removal, this cutout of old connections that no longer serve you. That takes us to the 8 of Hearts. And with the 8, we always talk about power, transformation, intensity, and we are dealing with hearts, again, of this emotion, this connection, relationships, and so here we are seeing an opportunity for new relationships, new connections, new values to come in. Remember, we're making space for the new to come in through this inner transformation within yourself. And we start off with Sagittarius in reverse. And so again, we're closing out some of these doorways, some of these big opportunities. So while we are in this space right now, it's a good time to take on any last opportunities, any last experiences before moving into this space. But this is cutting out old belief systems, old experiences, old lessons that have been learned, clearing the way out of this old journey, making space for a new journey to come in. And of course, we get confirmation with that, with Jupiter in reverse, Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius. So again, these big doorways, these big opportunities are closing, But this is due to these old experiences, these old lessons, clearing out to make space for the new. And so this is really about opening yourself up to new opportunities, new destined spaces in your life. And Taurus is here. So what is of the highest value to you? What does your best life look like? What are you willing to connect to bring in, to move into your life in 2020? And so this is taking a look at your values. This is taking a look at your connection to, again, these objects, these places, these people in your life, and what serves you, what is of the highest value, and what does not. Remember that Taurus only settles for the best life possible. And of course, that takes us to another fixed sign of Aquarius. And so this is about, okay, what are we fixating on? What are we connecting to? What are we attaching ourselves to? And that can only be with Taurus of the highest value. And of course, Aquarius also taking us to this higher space of innovation, of evolution, of how are we going to grow? What is of the highest connection? Remember that Aquarius is the oldest of the air signs, making this communication, this connection on a global scale, on a conscious level. And so, what are you consciously connecting to? So this is about your evolution, about your growth, about where you are headed. It's also about you living in your individuality, in your uniqueness, in who you are. Remember that Aquarius isn't afraid to stand out in the crowd. So this is your December 2019 horoscope for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next video.